I have no doubts when I say that everything starts from zero and then we go up. This is the first in my channel. I have never reviewed your tips. I have never been critical about your tips. Let me be very clear about it because I do not want a lot of base. Base is good, but it should be quality over quantity. So I like quality base instead of quantity. So going to wider board tips is always easy for me. Okay, I have never felt like a narrow board tip is good for me until unless it is spin fit. Spin fit does something very good to me, and the fit with spin fit is fantastic. I like the CP100 a lot. I use that a lot. I use that with every possible IEM until unless I find this this generic, nothing special about this. Don't say that they are something special. They are generic tips. Okay, some brands have them named. Campfire Audio use these tips, these whiteboard tips, and they are basically generic tips. Nothing special about them. I have seen the exact same tips with creative IEMs priced at $10. So nothing is special about these tips. So you do not need to find this anywhere. Just get a cheap IEM and you might find this with them. So yeah, I like these tips. They give a broader perspective. The stage is a bit more taller, slightly more airy too. I find it to be very good too. No issues with this at all. And the only downside can be the lack of width. Okay, if the IEM does not have enough width, this might not be able to help it. Okay, it is not very wide sounding. Let's have a look at the narrowboard tips. So what narrowboard tips do is they concentrate the bass. Okay, they do not deliver a bigger area of impact, but they focus the bass. Okay, if the bass has bigger area but it is not heavy enough, you can change to narrow board tips and you can concentrate it. Okay, it will be a bit more heavier, but the area of impact will be slightly smaller. Okay, that is perfectly fine. That is very good even if you want bass. But what narrowboard tips do is they can be more V-shaped. They will uh, enhance the treble sharpness too, which can be or cannot be desired. And I do not want my mid-range to be drowned, so I do not prefer these narrowboard tips. Okay, especially this. These are final audio tips until unless a particular IEM really demands a tip like this, which is mid forward and it has slightly less bass weight. Then we can opt for this kind of tips, or else it is not really necessary to go for narrowboard tips for me. And here we are with two set of tips from Pen and Audio. Liquor. Okay, the exact meaning of liquor is that if you will look at the spelling, it is not exactly same as the liquor, the alcohol that we drink in regular basis, but it is slightly different, and that means concentrated high sugar content that is used to flavor the cocktail. Okay, so it's a concentrate, sugary concentrate, and these two tips are here to flavor our IEMs. Okay, this one is slightly narrower bore. You guys can easily see. Let me show you. Let me show you here. Okay, I believe you guys can easily see that the black one has a slightly wider bore than the orange one. But but the material used is different, and these tips behave differently. That is not like this. Okay, this tips wider bore was a bit more open and stuff, but what happening here is that this black tip is a bit more v-shaped. It is sealing it differently or something like that, but the material used, maybe it might be the material used, but it is a bit more v-shaped. It is delivering a bit more bass, uh, bit more bass punch, a bit more mid bassy to be precise, not very deep sub bass or anything like that, but a bit more mid bassy while reducing the mid range slightly. Okay, I will not say the mid range is not good, but the height of vocals are slightly lacking. That is okay. That is okay. If you do not listen to a lot of vocal oriented tracks, this is perfectly fine. And the treble is a bit more forward with the black tips. While the orange one is not as V-shaped, and it is not a very bassy one either. This one does not try to deliver a bigger punch or anything like that. The area of impact is not bigger than the black one either. So yeah, this is not a bass oriented tip, and it does not try to reduce the uh, vocal height, and the treble is slightly not as forward. So that is perfectly fine. I do not have any issues with that at all. So both are very good tips, and size really matters. In this, size really matters, because when I was using this this bigger tips, and I was not getting a proper seal, the bigger one, the biggest one here. Okay, this tips, I was not getting a proper seal, and I was kind of not getting the stage I was expecting from it. So that was a big issue. While I was getting proper seal with this one, and this was sounding much better than the black one. But if I have to tell you about the stage, I will say there is barely an issue. Both are very good, but this one is slightly wider and this one is slightly taller. The orange one is slightly taller. So that is it. That is the base difference between these two set of tips. If you want any recommendation, I might not be the best guy, but I'm very straightforward about these tips. There is nothing complicated about it. So that is it. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Enjoy.